Hi folks, and welcome to TK Power Sports. It is time to go for a ride on this, the 2024 Kawasaki Brute Force 750. Now for 2024, it's basically old bones wrapped in a new package. This thing looks different, but everything underneath, suspension, engine, is all the exact same. So we really have to set out to answer one big question. Did Kawasaki do enough here, or does this update fall short? Let's dive into it right now. Let me start by hitting you with the important numbers. So dimensions on this unit come in at 86 inches long, 46 inches wide, and 47.6 inches tall. The wheelbase measures at 50.6 inches, while the curb weight on this machine, ready to ride with all the fluids, is 732 pounds. Fuel capacity comes in at just 19 liters, while the towing capacity here is 1,250 pounds. Ground clearance here is listed at 9 inches or 9.6 inches at max preload. Suspension travel measures at 6.9 in the front and 7.4 in the back, while the tires here are 25 inches in diameter. Okay folks, let the ride begin. So the first thing we're gonna do is my rock pile right here, a little bit of rock climbing. So this is a good chance to feel the power. I've got it down in low. I've got it in four-wheel drive. Let's see how easy it is to creep up and over these guys. And a decent test of the tires as well. Oh, four-wheel slippage. Okay, all right. Got a bit of dirt mixed in there too, so I'm gonna use two tricks. First of all, I'm gonna lock up my front differential. That's down here on this handle. So you pull the handle and you hold it, which is a little bit different from every other machine on the market. And then the other key here is just a hair of momentum. Ready? Here we go. Hello, just a bit of momentum. And that front diff locker is nice to have too. And then same thing, power and low felt solid. Oh man, and with that locker on, it does not want to turn. Let go of the handle, and away we go. So yeah, not bad. And I think what I was really feeling there was really strong power from this engine, but let's go hit some mud now and see how it feels. Okay folks, I promised mud. Let's get into the mud. So here's the hydro line. I don't anticipate a problem going straight through. Nah, it feels fine. But here's what I like to do with ATVs. I'm in four-wheel drive, I'm in low. Let's see if I can hop up on this muddy bank on the driver's side here. This is really a test of tires. Come on, baby. Nice. Let's try to lock up my front diff. This is annoying because it feels like it wants to do it, but I'm turtled. I just don't have the clearance. You can see it right there. I'm high centered, so I've totally lost all the grip. See, even in reverse, it feels like it wants to climb. Let me hit it one more time. Nope, not quite. So yeah, I don't want to totally blame the tires on this, and the power feels good, but the clearance is not enough. Now let's see if I can get her turned back into the ruts without flipping off. There we go. right, folks, now a test of the power and suspension. Let's jump it. Well, that felt pretty good. I mean, the suspension travel numbers here aren't massive, and not a huge jump, granted, but when I landed, it's a bit of a stiff landing. Still, the suspension did its job, though. I just feel like you can find the limits of that pretty quickly. Of course, I'm a big guy, and that was a little jump. If you do a big jump, yeah, you're gonna come down pretty hard. Hoo-wee. Well, back in from the trail now, folks, so I can talk you through everything I felt on this Brute Force. Now, first of all, we have to start with the powertrain, and that's one spot where I have no complaints. The power here is so strong, comes on really strong in the low end. In fact, one of the first times I took off and I nailed the throttle, I had those front wheels right off the ground, not on purpose. So then the next time I was like, yeah, you know what? Let me feel this power and feel how I can pop a wheelie. And it's really easy to pop a wheelie. So that is a plus just for the power in general, but then that low end torque really grabs good. So yes, the engine here is also ancient, but that's no problem. Kawasaki didn't need to update the engine. What they really did need to update was the suspension. I felt the limits of the suspension here in a number of ways. First of all, you know, less than 8 inches of travel, front and rear. Yeah, you can just find that limit really quickly, and it comes across in a few ways. First of all, it's a bit stiff. You know, you're running over rocks and uneven ground and roots, and you're just bouncing all over the place. I found that I didn't want to ride this thing sitting down at all. Once I got over 30 kilometers an hour, I basically had to be standing up, adding my legs into the equation. That's an extra sort of layer of suspension. And then my body weight to kind of really get this thing through corners, because it's sort of so stiff and it doesn't have that travel. Yeah, it just feels like as the rider, you need to be more involved. And in that way, it does feel more old school. On a brand new machine, say a Polaris Sportsman 1000, which we tested last year, that thing just has so much suspension, you feel like you have to do less as the rider. This is the opposite of that. So yes, in the travel, you definitely feel the limitations. Even in the ground clearance, we're in the days now of ATVs with 12, 13, 14 inches of ground clearance. This thing doesn't come close. You saw what happened in the mud pit. And then, I ride on these trails all the time with lots of different machines. And there was a couple rocks that I know I can normally go over. And on this thing, I kissed the skid plate with them. So yes, I just wish if Kawi really spent some R&D dollars on this machine, it would have been more to do with the suspension. And then the tires. Not to say the grip is bad, but bigger tires would be nice. 25s on your top end model, that just doesn't cut it anymore. It'd be nice to have 27s down here, something a bit bigger and beefier to help out again when you're in that mud pit, and that would also bring up your ground clearance. So powertrain, everything I felt there was great. It's the suspension that does kind of let you down compared to all the other ATVs on the market today. Let me talk ergonomics now. So I do stand at 6'2". Still, I think it's a pretty comfortable standing position. The bars aren't too low, anything like that. One of the things I noticed, which I really love, huge footwells here. I got my big rubber boots on today, and I just feel like I have so much space in this footwell to move my foot around, get comfortable, lots of grip. Even here on the edge, there's grip, but then you have grip back here, grip up here, and that's something, especially again with big boots, a lot of times you feel like the footwell feels cramped. That's not the case here whatsoever. So I kind of like the size of this thing. Nice big wide comfy seat. No issues with sort of overall rider comfort and ergonomics. When it comes to storage, things are good here as well. I get this bin here on my left hand side, the rubberized sort of mesh on my right, great for stuffing things like gloves in, and then even a little nose storage up there too. I think every ATV should maximize storage space, and it does feel like Kawasaki has done that here. And then let me speak to the upgrades. So first of all, for 2024, these hand guards are new. This pod light up here on the actual handlebars is new. And then I have a brand new LCD display. Handguards are nice, especially on a cold day is when I really feel like I'd notice those, and maybe that's just the snowmobiler in me talking, but yeah, on a cold day, having these is going to keep your hands a bit warmer. A pod light, I mean, that's nothing new in ATVs, but it's a nice upgrade, especially when you're out at night, because the light actually follows your steering, so you can kind of see around a corner a little bit better. And then this display, this is one of the nicest displays I've seen on any ATV. It's just so crystal clear. It delivers all the information you need at a glance. So that's another positive, and I really appreciate that they did update that as well. And I should also mention the lights. They're all LEDs now. Kawasaki loves those LED lights, so you get them down there in the headlights and up here in the pod light. Just a nice crystal clear quality of light, and I appreciate that for night riding too. So ergonomics, fit, comfort, utility, all of that stuff is quite good here as well. Okay folks, time for the top speed run. We're here on an empty gravel road. Let's see what this thing can do. Two-wheel drive high. Let's hit it. In 3, 2, 1, let's go. Doggies. So I just saw 110 kilometers per hour, and I might have gotten a little bit more if I had a bit more runway, but it was starting to slow down, and I actually went to 110 and saw it come back to 109. So yeah, top speed here is a pretty impressive 110 kilometers per hour. Well folks, we have come to the end of this one. Now this Brute Force 750 did get some necessary enhancements for 2024. I am happy that Kawasaki spent the money to make it look a little bit better, bring us things like that screen, the updated lights, things like that. But I do wish they went a little bit further. You could have left the engine alone, given us some more suspension, some better tires, and this thing would have really been a compelling package. Now, when it comes to price though, it's not one of the more expensive models, so that is important. Here in Canada, this model that you see right here sells for a little over $14,000. So yeah, folks, like I mentioned, that's the end of this one. Now, of course, I need to hear what you think, so why don't you drop in the comments right now. Let me know what you think of the Brute Force. Do you also wish it was more updated with the suspension, or are you okay with it the way it is? Let me know all your thoughts. While you're down there, don't forget to hit like, hit subscribe, hit join to become a member, and then come right back here to TK Power Sports to see what we are testing next. And if you'll excuse me, it is a beautiful, sunny, hot day, and I got some more mud to find. Thanks for watching. See ya!